straight from the realm of all things gaming. Everything Noob starts now.
Episode 125, Everything Noob Podcast. I'm Vortak, joined by Jemmy and Dreadlow as always. We are YouTubers and streamers of sorts. And special guest tonight, Mr. Weem.
I am here, but special. That's strong language right there.
Come on, man. You're a special YouTube celebrity guest.
Yeah.
Sure.
If you don't know,
I'm excited.
Weem is the voice of the ever viral and popular Sir Francis. How many hits do you have now? Like a billion?
No, none. Nobody watches it.
It's the best video on the internet, and we will link it in the show notes.
It went viral, man. No, I was kidding.
It's going to.
It better. I'll be mad. So tonight we are talking about one big news story, and we have a couple gaming releases for you as well in relation to The Sims and Halo. But the big story that I personally have been following a lot this week was the YouTube rumors and almost announcement of their relaunch of their streaming service. They want to better compete with Twitch. And their focus, according to a source, quote unquote, we'll link it in the show notes, their focus is going to be gaming and esports. And I think we've talked about this on the podcast a long time ago when they first started trying to like push into that market a little bit. And now they're talking about relaunching it. So,
but that's just
I can see
rumor
that.
right now, right?
it's almost confirmed. It's as close to confirmed as you could get, I would suppose.
I think that would be awesome, to tell you the truth, because everything will be linked. You'll be able to like do YouTube videos, and all your audience that watches those, you'll be able to stream for. It's just much easier transition from, a YouTube videos to say Twitch than what Twitch would be, because it's a different audience. Well, it's not really a different audience, but it makes it a lot easier for that audience that watches YouTube to be able to see you live. They won't have to have, go through the hoops of signing up for different accounts and things like that. And some people just really don't like to do that. But I don't know.
Google makes that really easy. We talked about that last week.
Oh, yeah.
One login rules them all.
I think Microsoft is probably going in that direction as well with their Windows 10. So it looks like everybody's doing that. And then Apple's going to have theirs. So, well, they've already had theirs for forever.
Yeah. Everything streamlined. I liked I made a vlog about it, talked about it a little bit with my viewers, and a lot of them had kind of similar things to say. What I like about it was my biggest problem when I was streaming a lot and transitioning from doing YouTube videos is I wanted to reach my YouTube audience and let them know I'm doing this now. I'm streaming. I'll be streaming at these times. So if you can't, catch one, maybe you can catch a different one. And every time I would go live, I found myself uploading a video. Like, hey, I'm live right now. It was like a minute-long video with just music and a graphic over it. And then I would delete the video when I was done. And then eventually Twitch added a system to where you could have an annotation linked to Twitch. So whenever you go live, it just blips on the screen like, oh, Vortak is live now.
You see, and that's what player.me is supposed to be, kind of like a bridge for all those different forms of media. And it's still in beta, but if YouTube doesn't do this, then that would be our only hope to getting our audience to, all they have to do is go to our player.me website, and they'll be able to see whether we're streaming, whatever we're doing.
It's a social network that may or may not take off. It's doing okay. I don't think it's the only hope. I think YouTube, since YouTube already did the annotation thing with Twitch, maybe if this is all rumor, I think YouTube could do more to help promote people streaming.
Yeah, true.
I don't know if they will. They
definitely make chat a lot easier, that's for sure.
So yeah, I'm just kind of I'm trying to look right now to see what some of the comments said, what people said about this. One person was kind of negative. They're in chat right now, actually. Jake, I don't trust Google to do anything good in terms of YouTube. Thus, I don't think it'll be good. So, Mr. Bitter is bitter. Also, do you think that I'll ever stream again? And that's something that I've been struggling with. I really want to stream again, and I like doing videos though. I don't want to develop a streaming schedule. I feel like doing a stream on YouTube, if done well, it'll allow me to still do my video upload schedule, but throw in a surprise stream, and I won't have to like really plan ahead. Because the example I used was I have to plan ahead like a week or more to tell people I'm going to be live on Twitch now, because I'm never live on Twitch. No one's going to come.
Yeah, and sometimes you get those itches, you know, like right now I got this weird itch that I want to start doing YouTube again. So it's like you get these itches that, you know, you want to scratch. And I don't know. I'm just like in a limbo right now. I want to do streaming, but I want to do YouTube, and you know, I'm kind of stuck in between right now. So you kind of get burnt out sometimes on one, you want to do the other. And it's kind of nice if they were both linked. It would make it much more easier to transition from and to, you know?
Yeah. So, words from Weem. What do you think? You streamed the other night. How did it go?
Man, I was telling you before, I kind of burned my voice a bit. I did a little too much. Yeah, I haven't been streaming a whole lot for a while. It seems I do it every 6 months or something. I don't know. I do like one. I actually had a lot of fun yesterday when I streamed. I did it for about 5.5 hours, and I found myself getting into a really good groove, a really good flow that I don't typically reach in YouTube, doing YouTube stuff, because it tends to be shorter. And so that was a lot of fun. I mean, it might have been the Rockstar. I don't know. But anyway, one of those two is energy drinks, or I don't know. I just got into some flow. It was going really good. So I want to do more of that, but I think it's going to always be just the every once in a while thing. So, and bringing it back to this topic, I would love to see YouTube do really good streaming integration. I would love to see them come in and do something awesome that just blows everyone away. It hasn't really happened though with the things that they've been working on. It's not that they don't make good stuff, you know, for Google, but what I would like to have happen is I don't expect to have happen. It'd be nice, but I just don't anticipate that.
It's a dream at this point, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. High hopes, low expectations.
Can I jump in here?
Yeah.
So, like, you guys, I feel like, or at least for Tack and Redlow, I think you're counting your eggs before the chicken has laid. And so the rumors are saying they're focusing on esports. Well, Google is in the business of making money. I don't think they care about the average everyday user with streaming esports. I think they're wanting to broadcast professional esports and try to take some of that traffic away from Twitch.
Didn't they do that? I read another, it might have been the same article or a different one. They said that they started streaming an esports event. I think it was a League of Legends event, but those aren't contracted out to any particular service, so any service can technically go there and pick it up.
Exactly. But like nobody really can, you can't search YouTube's live streams. They aren't really, they're like a little tiny text link at the top of the YouTube page, so you have no idea what's going on. You don't know when it's going to happen.
Yeah, I actually went into like a lot of depth in my vlog about that particular aspect of Twitch that Twitch got right. It's very easy to find people on Twitch, and there's no favoritism. It's all about who has the most viewers, but you earn those viewers. You can't post a new video and then get promoted by Twitch in the sense of like, I don't know, pay the money like you can pay YouTube. You can throw ad dollars at YouTube and get your video different places. With Twitch, it's like you earn those viewers, you sit in a spot, and if someone gets viewers over you, they bump ahead of you. That's just how it works.
And the professional stuff is always like front page when it's on.
Yeah. And YouTube, I don't even know. I actually looked recently and tried to find
I don't think
a live
they
section.
even have like a tab for a live section, which they really need to work that in. If you're going to have a streaming service, that needs to be there.
Yeah. And what's weird is like on the home page of YouTube, they recently made another tab, which for me felt very out of place, but I think it was specifically for music. And I could pull
wow.
I never go
That's
to
been missing though. Like there was a time where I was like trying to browse music on YouTube because there for a while YouTube was where everybody went if you didn't own the MP3 and you weren't going to buy it and you wanted to listen to tunes. And then they like stripped it and buried it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how am I supposed to like Safari music surf for crazy music videos?
It's there. You have your 3 tabs: what to watch, my subscriptions, and music.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah. So
That's interesting.
why not live now? And you just have everything that's live right there. And once your live streams start picking up, then you categorize them. Like live
That
in
would
gaming,
be so cool.
live in music, live in art, live in this,
They'd be
live in that.
they'd be all there, and then all you'd have to do is go, oh, I wonder what's live tonight, and then go there and
Yeah.
oh, check this out. I'll watch this for a little bit. That would be awesome.
Yeah, instead, like, live streams on YouTube right now just kind of appear in the sub box, and it's really strange and just weird. I think, because you can go live with a Hangout and invite people to it and just stream it on YouTube, and if your subscribers kind of stumble upon your feed at that time, they'll see, just like any video, oh, this is live right now. They're recording this right now, and they can go watch it. And then I think they fixed this, but back when it first started, chat was just a comment section you couldn't even access as the streamer. You could just go back and read the comments later. And it was people trying to live chat with you and nothing, there was a huge disconnect.
Yeah, you couldn't interact. At least not
There was
live.
actually a cap on comments originally when it launched.
Oh, that's even
Well,
better.
Yeah, it's like, oh, and not only is there no live chat, there is now a cap on initial comments on the live stream.
Yeah, no. That was stupid. So it needs a relaunch. It needs reworking, and I don't think YouTube will shy away from streaming. I think they still want a piece of that cake, which is why I kind of believe the rumors that are being thrown around. But what Jimmy, you were saying was it's going to be a stronger focus on more professional content and not so much the little guy.
Oh, yeah. I think there will be some trickle down because while they're improving all the stuff for the professional stuff, like you said, there'll be a section where you can go for live now and stuff. So then you'll find the little guy buried down there. But I think they're definitely going to push for more professional live streaming stuff. And esports is going to be a very large market that's easy for them to break into without having to invest a whole lot for it. Like they're not going to have to go for those sweetheart deals to get esports to come to YouTube's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really hope they don't start contracting out their streams to certain networks, and we start going backwards.
It's gonna happen. It's like we're gonna pay you, Joe Schmo event, a large sum of money because we know a lot of people want to watch it on live stream to exclusively stream through our service, and it already happens. Not so much with esports, but
Yeah, in general.
yeah.
I know.
Well, I've been noticing on Hitbox lately, there are actually a lot of streamers that stream on both Twitch and Hitbox.
At the same time?
Yeah, at the same time, which is weird. I don't know why they do that, but they do. They must have the bandwidth for it. But
Capitalize on that market.
yeah, and so, I mean, I've seen where you could watch a League of Legends thing going on, and it's also streaming on Twitch, but it's by obviously somebody else, or they're actually streaming the actual live Twitch event on Hitbox. It's just weird. I mean, it's crazy. I'm sure that this is going to lead to contracts and things like that.
I wonder. I mean, I'm sure you would just get your channel banned, but what if a lot of people did it, like where they took the stream from YouTube and broadcast it to Twitch themselves? Just for spite or to be dumb or whatever. I mean, do you think they'll be watching for that? I guess they would have to.
On
I don't
Twitch?
I don't think Hitbox would care, but Twitch would definitely.
Well, okay, if YouTube pays a streaming or the esports like a bunch of money, like we want this League of Legends tournament on YouTube exclusively, and they agree to it, and then some jackass decides, screw that, I'm going to stream it on Twitch and be a dick. What? Twitch wouldn't. Could Twitch even intervene? It's not. They're.
That would be against the terms of service because that's kind of streaming copyrighted material.
Oh yeah. Okay, I remember that now because there was a fiasco not that long ago. Someone was streaming a spectator match of League of Legends, and it was this whole mess. Like the guy was getting harassed, and it was an old story, so I barely remember what the hell it was. But yeah, that came into question. Should the person who's playing the game get any exclusive rights to their own game?
No. not in that sense, but if you're just pulling the stream from another service and streaming that, yes.
Yeah. So, Weem, you gotta talk to us, man. I saw him in chat, and I'm like, that's a really good comment. Hey, Weem's here. I can just ask him about that.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
Where did you hear that?
The ESPN thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just remember reading that somewhere. I mean, somebody in the chat had commented that they wanted, the 24/7 esports streaming channel. They don't care what they stream, but they want it 24/7. And I just remember reading that somewhere, that some article that said that these guys were getting together to put together what would be the ESPN of esports. So basically, you'd go there and it would just be this running thing. They've got all kinds of news and they're doing streams and everything, kind of a 24/7 style thing. Anyway, I didn't read the article or anything. It was just a thing. I just recall seeing that at some point, which I think is cool. I mean, I'm a fan of ESPN, and it's one of the sites I visit, every day. And I think something like that would be cool for people who are really into esports. It's not something I get super into. I watch stuff every once in a while, but I could get how that would be really popular.
You could do that if you had enough people behind it. You could definitely do that, because when something's not going on, you could stream yourselves just talking about the latest thing, just like they do on ESPN. They just sit there at a round table discussion like, oh, did you see when that football player did the football thing? And they're like, yeah, football. And they just do that the whole time until another football game comes on.
Yeah.
I don't watch football.
But there's a lot of sports going on, like, daily. And
Well,
I don't think there's a lot of esports going on daily for that, though.
Practicing.
Yeah. But they have pre-recorded stuff, you know what I mean? Like ESPN and stuff, there's always stuff to watch in there, but it's not like, and they'll start pulling in sports from other countries and everything, but there's pre-recorded, you can have news and stuff that's put together and shown during, like, off times and everything. Right. This wasn't necessarily like somebody was making an ESPN for esports streaming thing. I think it was supposed to be pretty much a website that was going to have a lot of the streaming, and plus pre-recorded stuff. I'm not really talking about a Twitch channel or anything. It's mostly like a website, for this kind of thing.
I figured
it was a website channel on its own, but
just like ESPN, like obviously you don't go to ESPN and watch it as though you would watch the ESPN show. The site has a lot of video clips and everything, but I think that's what they wanted to bring to the web, was a place you could go and just watch stuff all the time, and it was news, and then they would actually feature live events when they were happening, but they would have other things going on too during downtimes. That's kind of my assumption. A lot of that's my assumption. Like I said, it sounded cool.
Yeah,
I like the idea.
I like that we're getting to that point where we'll definitely see something like that in the near future. Esports is becoming something that's kind of being taken more seriously, and
I get a scholarship for it now.
I remember that discussion. Oh my god, college is giving scholarships for esports players.
Wow, I remember that.
Out here in California, like, the larger population area, LA and stuff like that, there's bars that do that every day. They have periods of time where they stream games, and you can just go to this bar, and that's what it's all about. That happens in a lot of places out here.
Oh, that's cool.
I wonder if I have anything like that near me, and I just don't know about it.
No, you don't.
You know what?
Not out east.
When I lived in Denver, there were two bars, or near Denver, there were two bars I didn't know about until I almost was leaving. They were called, I think, One Up, and there were two of them pretty close together. You could go into either one of these, and it was full of classic arcade games, and then a full bar. And they served some food, too. So you could go in there, and it was really cheap, tons of pinball machines, and then just all these classic arcade games. You got your Pac-Man and your, Dig Dug and all that stuff, just tons of them. And I mean, they were jumping. It was awesome. And I'm like, there needs to be more stuff like this, because this is perfect. People are going to come here to drink anyway, and this is, like, I think, in my opinion, a great way for the arcade to still thrive, because you combine it with, drinking, and you're catering to that audience now. Those people who grew up with those games are now adults who go out and drink all the time because they're sad that those games aren't in arcades anymore, but now they can, be less sad because there they are. It's a working theory. But, yeah, that streaming game bar, that'd be something else. Is that all they do at those bars, or is that, like, when there's an event that's what they do.
I don't know that they have fully dedicated bars yet. They may, but I know that there's a lot of places that do that during certain, especially during the big events. They have these. You can go in and it's kind of set up for that. But I've heard of other places too. You can go in and they've just got this. Hey, we're going in. There's this couple-hour period where they're streaming some tournament and stuff. Instead of your football or your baseball, you'd go into a bar and it's live streaming. League of Legends on all the monitors and everything, all a tournament.
Wow.
So
that's pretty cool.
That would be cool.
Does anyone here ever get into esports at all? Like watch Smite or League of Legends?
I have a friend who is way into it, and
I would watch.
He's the one who got Brendan into playing League of Legends. And he's like, send him. I think it was just yesterday. There was some like professional matches going on, and they were kind of watching the match. And all I could hear was like, everyone's like, "Oh, Buddy Fufu's playing, Buddy Fufu."
I'd watch a professional like Hearthstone tournament. That would be a lot of fun. Yeah.
I feel like that would be so boring to watch.
Well, I like watching poker, so it's not much different. I mean, it is different, obviously, but I mean, it's like a card game, so it would be. Watching what the other player does in reaction to his opponent is really interesting to me. Whereas with League of Legends,
I feel like poker's more interesting
just
though.
A battle game.
Part of poker is your poker face, and there's a set amount of cards for everybody, and it's the exact same every time. Whereas with Hearthstone, you kind of build your own deck and everything. So
Speaking of poker faces, have you ever seen a League of Legends player's poker face? It's just them drooling on their keyboard as they're playing.
Oh my god, yeah, they look so intense.
I know it's the exact opposite of what you'd want to see.
Well, that's why they have those
no face cam, please.
Announcers, and then they flop between streams on the computers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, could you imagine
if not a good look?
If it starts to grow in in a way we're talking about here, what other games would try to get into the esports thing? Like I'm imagining Minecraft coming out with all these new mods that allow you to have some kind of a competition where it could be displayed as an esport or something.
You could start seeing weird ones like that. I mean, there are a lot of sports.
Yeah.
And they just had to be invented over time.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think that would definitely sprout up a bunch of other games. Obviously, would want to be included, so they'll try to come up with competitive ways. Like for instance, I mean, even like Call of Duty, they could have some pretty cool competitions with that. I mean, they do already, and just to add it to like the esport thing would be interesting.
Yeah. We'll see. I think in order to make Minecraft or a game like that into an esport, you'd have to make a variant of Minecraft. And mod it to be whatever, like a crafting build. I don't know, people stream stuff like that all the time. There's all kinds of competitive Minecraft servers where you go on and you can earn in-game money to buy things as you keep winning games of survival games or things like that. Those I'd have fun watching.
But they're not they're not considered like official, type things. You don't see competitions, big competitions with those things. That would be kind of interesting to see that, though.
Yeah,
it'd be something new,
Oh,
and then we can have our bars that are specifically for gamers, where they have something always on. They'd have multiple screens or whatever with different stuff going on. It'd be interesting. That's just a dream world of mine.
What were you saying, Jimmy?
Oh, okay. So what was I was laughing about? Because you were talking about Minecraft and it have to be a mod offshoot. I was thinking about the show Ninja Warrior, and so basically it's like this parkour map that they just send people through, just over dramatized and everything.
I remember that. I didn't like when they Americanized
he's gonna make
it.
the leap. There he goes. He's jumping and he makes it. He's on it. You know what I mean?
I know.
Maybe something like that.
Yeah.
That show originated in, what was it? I don't want to get this wrong because
I'm pretty sure it was Japan.
I'll seem super racist. Japan, I think. We'll say Japan. And then they brought it over and Americanized it, and it was no longer in Japanese, it was in English, and it just took the fun out of it for me. I liked not understanding. There was sheer chaos every time you'd watch those people jump across the obstacles. And just someone just shouting, in Japanese in the mic while this guy was going through the course. It was just fun. It was more fun to watch. And then, then it got kind of boring when I could understand it.
I just think we didn't take it. We took it too seriously, is why the American version wasn't as good.
Yeah.
Like, it was just kind of over the top and like a little weird. And then the American version is like, no, we're going to take it serious. And like, none of the contestants seem to even take it seriously.
These people are athletes.
No. The disconnect is really bizarre.
So, anyway, going back to the original subject, I'm hopeful that YouTube can pull together a streaming service. And one other point that I usually make on this subject is if anyone can be fair competition for Twitch, I think YouTube has the best shot because of its installed user base already. I think a service like Hitbox is going to have way more trouble catching up, but YouTube's there.
Yeah, it's slowly snail pace growing,
but
it's very, very slow. And it's kind of dragging me down a little bit because I'm thinking, but patience is a virtue, I guess. But I don't know. I mean, there's opportunity out there somewhere.
Yeah.
Seize the day.
Seize the day.
Well, getting into some gaming announcement news here. The Sims has announced that their first expansion is coming out. And I'm sure we've all played Sims at one point or another. I know Weem had you had a Sims series for a little bit on your channel.
I did a couple episodes, like 3, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
nothing crazy. Just
that's short-lived.
Yeah, I thought, okay, I'm gonna play this. I'll record a little bit, and I did, just a little bit, and it was cool. But I gave it its little shot.
Yeah. I wanted to do a series on it, but so many people were already, and there were other games that were out, and I just kind of played it on my own. I played Sims 4 a lot more than I thought it would. I figured, Sims 4 was not going to have enough stuff. And what I really like even more than this announcement of the expansion, because it seems like a lot of stuff I never played in a Sims expansion, but there was a free Sims update recently that added basements and some Easter stuff and paintings. And then I think there's been other ones too that added swimming pools and stuff like that. Like all the things that they said, sorry guys, we're not putting in this game, even though it was in other games previous to it. They've been adding it back for free.
Well, and that's something we talked about. Isn't that something we talked about? We said, it'd be so cool if they would just take some of those old expansions that people spent a lot of money on in progression from Sims 1 all the way up, and that they keep repeating. Every time they make a new Sims, they repeat the same expansion packs. And we said it would be cool if they just started adding that, if they just added that to the base game, and come up with something new. I think we talked about that one time. And it looks like they're doing that.
They're not really doing that per se. I think it's just things that were in the old base games that just didn't end up in Sims 4.
Oh, I thought maybe they were listening to our show.
And people were right enough. They're like, why isn't this in there? This was base game.
I mean, we make such a big influence on the gaming community.
Oh, you know it.
So...
Anyway,
so
I was excited to see that, and it put them in my good graces a bit. I still haven't played the game since that update, admittedly, but you can add a 4th top floor, and you can have a basement now. And then, of course, they put swimming pools back, and I think there was another free update that I don't have pulled up here that just did more. So little free updates, kind of bringing the game up to speed, fixing a lot of the criticized things, and then the Sims 4 expansion. It's gonna be $40. It's called Get to Work. And you're going to be able to have all these different career paths to send your Sims on and actually make the place they work. And it looks like you can make your own retail business, for example. And you can actually manage the employees and things like that. You can your Sims can be scientists and crime solvers and inventors.
There's a doctor doing a CAT scan in one of the pictures.
Yeah. So
Or no, that's
That's
an X-ray.
interesting.
Sorry, but
I think this was a take on a different expansion. I think we've seen this before where you send your Sims to work, but you actually go and see what they're doing,
yeah.
but in the style of Sims 4.
Well, usually
So-
isn't the first expansion like a nightlife or like a party pack?
For pets.
And that's pretty
Yeah.
expensive for an expansion pack too, because they usually are about $19.99 each or something, aren't they?
No, they were like at least $30 on the Sims 3 when they first released. I'm sorry, Weem.
Oh no, it's fine. I was actually going to
Slide
make
in
an
there.
admission. I was I was going to make
Whoa.
an admission and ask a question. What Sims did I play? Did I do the series that you played? You just mentioned 4, and then you mentioned The Sims. Which one did we do, or which one did I record?
You recorded The Sims 4. You were right, Weem?
Yeah, I said I was going to make an admission that I could look it up, but I thought I would just go ahead and admit it outright. Once you said, "Oh, and then Sims 4 has a thing," I was like, "Wait, which one did I record? I don't have any idea."
Oh,
Pure confusion.
sorry. That was my bad.
I have no idea.
I post it and completely wipe.
No, it's not your fault. You were talking about The Sims, but then you made a comment about Sims 4, and I was like, "Oh no, which one did I record?" I have no idea, no clue.
You would have known
Anyway.
if it was the old Sims game, because that game looks
Well, I
awful
didn't-
now.
I didn't know if it was one of those things where they come out with a new thing and they're like, "Forget the numbers, we're just going to call it The Sims now." I was like, "Oh
Oh.
crap, which one did I play?"
Like Sim City.
Something, yeah,
Like the
yeah.
new Sim City was just Sim City.
Sorry. I was trying to go look it up.
So professional.
I know, right? I normally check all my audio, and today I'm like, "Yep, I've got it. It's good." Nope.
So yeah, this is the first expansion to The Sims 4.
Sir Francis is right up top.
I told you, it's the best video on the internet.
There we go.
Oh man, that's funny.
So it's called, Get to Work, and I'm sure maybe even someone in chat said, "Oh, that's just like the other one." I've been paying too much attention to chat tonight. I apologize, but I'm pretty excited just because it seems like they waited a fair amount of time for this expansion to come out. They've added some free stuff to the game since then, and now we have this expansion. Now, what I'm worried about is because the Maxis logo is on the cover art of the expansion. Is this going to be the last Maxis expansion now? Yeah, because
because they were just cut recently, I think there could still be. Is it the last expansion we'll probably see Maxis on the cover? Yes. Is it the last expansion that will have influence from Maxis employees? No.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping there are enough Maxis employees that stuck around.
No,
to
it's
help.
just because of the development phase and cycles, it takes a long time. So, like,
What if-
the fingers will still be there.
What if this was the case? What if Maxis, when they made Sims 4, already made all the expansions they were going to have in the future? Yeah? And then they released them just periodically?
That's a conspiracy theory, I think. A fair one.
It's possible. You know what I mean? They already have them already done. They're just releasing them slowly but surely. As far as these other updates here coming in,
I bet you they're planned.
yeah, I'm sure they are planned, yeah. But, I mean, as far as them being already made, I don't know.
I have a friend who is convinced to this day that Apple has planned out the next, 5 to 6 iPhones. Like, the design, everything. They know everything about them.
They probably have like a preliminary thing, but have they planned it? No.
I don't think so either. I always told them, I'm like, I don't think they do it that way. I mean, maybe. They probably start thinking about it right after they release one. They start thinking about the next one. But I noticed, just going off topic here for a second, I got the iPhone 6, and this is post Steve Jobs now. One thing about the iPhone 6 is the camera sticks out. And otherwise, it would be flat on the back. But the camera sticks out, so if you place the phone down on a flat surface, it kind of sits upright a little bit.
Ew, why?
Well, because the lens in there, it allows the lens to do more because it's longer, But
When it,
I feel like if Steve Jobs were alive, he would not have let that happen.
no, he would not. He would have been like, "You're gonna fix this, or we're gonna find a way to make a thicker case sexy."
Yeah. So
yeah, he
anyways,
would have come up with it.
It just reminded me of that when you said that. They could be planned out, and especially because they have so many previous Sims 4 expansions to recycle, like they tend to do anyway. They probably had already planned out the order of, okay, we're going to do this one, then this one, then this one, but maybe they hadn't gone into full detail about what they were going to put in each one to make them different enough to get people to justify buying them, and so on and so forth. Maybe nothing. Maybe it'll just be pets again, and,
Well, I'm sure that after they had released the last pets, and they're like, "Okay, if we get green light for the next Sims, what did we learn from this pets patch? Like, what did we want to put in there that just we were not capable? We'll sticky that note for the next one."
maybe. All things are possibilities, I suppose. These Sims expansions.
Well, I would
that's
mention
how
that
the brainstorming goes, though. If you're
Yeah.
gonna rehash old work, like, what did we want that we couldn't have?
I think the big thing is data is everything. They're going to look at what's sold in the past, what's their top sellers. Those are going to be the things that, come right to the top.
yeah,
Exactly.
biggest sales. What was the biggest sales? And then they're going to
Pets
go with
always
that.
sold really well.
Every time I get pets, I regret it.
Everyone does, but they're like, I need to have the animals because I want the cats, I don't want the dogs.
It's just such a big standard part of life that I was surprised it wasn't added to The Sims 2, just in the base game, and that's when I started to learn how shisty they are about, their updates and the way they do things. Just keep sending out the pets expansion, and people keep buying it over and over and over again. Oh, now we have horses that just wildly run around your neighborhood.
That's the horses thing was a little weird because it's like they don't really allow farming really per se in Sims, and no even real bastardized version of it. You can't just grow corn or anything in your backyard, and you don't have any other kind of farming stuff. So it's like horses.
Yeah.
It's really kind of left field.
I was okay with the horses. I was not
Even real
particularly okay with the horses running around my neighborhood.
that's also weird. Like wild horses in just a suburban neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. But of course, the way that Sims talk is kind of weird too.
That's the best part.
How about post-apocalyptic Sims where so your job is to oh, my Sim has the job of collecting car parts. So he goes out for the day and collects car parts, and somebody else is like, "Oh, I'm a berry picker. I hate my job. I get paid in toothpaste, or something." I don't know. That'd be the one I'd want to get.
Bottle caps.
Yeah.
I would play that. I'm surprised they haven't done that yet with all the zombie hype right now, Walking Dead and stuff. You could absolutely make a Sims version where there's a post-apocalyptic neighborhood and they have to do things like that, and there's people that go out and recruit more people to join the community, and they're
Fighting
I want
zombies.
that to be an MMO, honestly. It's just post-apocalyptic. You have to build towns, and crafting is berry picking, junk mongering, all sorts of stuff like that.
Yeah, you start to change the UI a little bit. Instead of earning currency, they earn berries,
Yeah.
And there's no set money. That's up to the user base to figure out. But they drop in a lot of useless objects too, like the bottle caps or whatever. So the user base could use that as currency, or it could just be a useless item.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Something more original in a Sims expansion, though. That's what I'm kind of craving. This seems to add enough stuff to where I could go, well, I never got a Sims job expansion where they go to work. So I could probably see buying this one. But I bought the SimCity expansion that came out. I was kind of eager to play it because I fell out of SimCity. And I was really disappointed, like of how quickly I fell out of it again. And I liked the updates. I liked the things they added, but it just it didn't hold my attention very well at all. Like they kind of made it a weird layer of complexity because you could get these buildings, these giant buildings where everything the city needs is in one tower, and you keep adding sections to this tower of different like things. Like this is where they do industry in this section of the tower, and this is where they shop for commercial objects in this section of the tower, and it just kind of, it was weird. It was really strange. And then there was also like wealth, you know, in the tower. Like, oh, this is the really rich apartments. These are where the poor people live, so on and so forth. And you could have up to 6 of them, and then you could like connect them in the city with these roads, and you could just make these weird futuristic looking cities. And I thought, wow, that's kind of cool and crazy. And I don't know, didn't get into it. Kind of fell off immediately, actually. So I'm wondering if maybe The Sims 4 will... I think I played The Sims 4 a lot more than SimCity. So maybe that's just my style of game.
It's more personal. SimCity is kind of this wide... You're building a city, and it's just huge and just massive. But then when you're in The Sims, it's more personal. You got a family, you know, and you're working with them, and I don't know. It just seems that's why this Sims is a lot more funner to me than say SimCity would be.
A lot more funner.
Funner, yeah. It's a word. It's a word in the dictionary.
All right.
It really is.
I'm gonna take your word for it.
Or not.
No, I believe him. I trust Redlow. He's a good guy. So, other gaming release news, also very kind of interesting. Halo Online. You guys see that?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Oh.
Halo Online, and it's only for people in Russia.
Doesn't make sense.
No.
Why Russia?
They took the Halo 3 engine and tweaked it, and it's like an online, it's exclusively a shooter, and it's free to play. It has
So is it stolen?
I don't know. That it makes me wonder, because that's why it's exclusively in Russia. Like, well, we can't, get sued here. Maybe, can they though?
They could start a war over it.
Would you really want to start a war with Russia? Like, really?
Over Halo?
You want to go that route?
No,
over Halo?
In Halo. That's how this works.
In Halo.
That's
Oh
why
my
they got this. So no one would actually have to die at the end.
They can start practicing for this war that is going to be fought in Halo. Their soldiers will have the best K to D ratio. Already, they have all those hours invested.
I saw this come up, and what it pisses me off, because it's a PC version of Halo. It's multiplayer only, which is the best part of Halo, and it's free to play. And all those things together sound great. The Halo 3 engine, I had a lot of fun playing Halo 3 multiplayer. Why can't I have this? I want this.
What you do is you get a proxy for your computer. You run your internet through a proxy, and then you'll be able to download it and play it.
I'll let you try that first.
All right.
I don't want to start a war.
That'd be crazy, huh?
Vladimir Vortak. His username.
I'll be VladTak.
Can we get a Photoshop of him on the horse, like with Vortak's head?
There, you can take a still from what I just did there, and if you missed that, then too late. If I think Micro left, he's a person who's usually in chat, and he usually makes stuff like that, but I think he called it a night.
Oh, I usually do it with my private friends on Facebook. They'll say something, and then I'll make them regret it, because I'll Photoshop their face on some really horrible picture.
I see him as still on chat. So
what do you think this will ever get shut down, or possibly maybe 343 will see it and go, I guess we could do something like that for PC? Because it's free to play, can they even be sued? They're not making money off of it. They could just claim it's a fan project, which means there's no.
Well, no. Free to play does not mean they're not making money. It just
True.
means they are not charging money for you to initially play it.
Yes. But if it was simply a fan project, but who's going to run the servers? Well, I guess people could run the servers like they used to do for playing Halo Online. You know how one guy would run the server, you didn't know who it was,
Yeah.
but their response would always be a little bit quicker than everyone else.
It's the host advantage.
Yeah. What makes me so upset about it is that I've kind of decided I'm not getting an Xbox One, and Halo 5 is going to come out in October. That was just announced. I'm like,
You
Halo.
You don't want to use their voicemail system that is probably going to be used more than used positively and purely as the goodness intent of it was intended.
That was a sentence right there.
I'm trying to make it like, I don't know. I went off on like a tangent there that I wasn't supposed to.
Those were simply words that you just threw into the air.
Well, I just think about the multiplayer experiences I've had on Xbox 360 and Live, and some of the messages and, more importantly, the picture mails I have gotten from other users, and I'm like, the last thing I want is their voicemail.
I know. You know what? Skype has voicemail. And video voicemail, actually. You can, if someone doesn't answer, it eventually gives you the option to leave them a video message. And I always abuse that. All I'll do is just like, I'll just like stare into the camera, flip them off, and hang up. And I'll wait for them
Yeah,
to
but
see
you only do
message.
that to people you know, right?
No.
He calls random people.
I
What are you
just
talking about? No, it's
dial
good.
random Skype names into my...
Oh.
Yeah, right.
That's how we met. I was like, "Who is this?" He was like, "Vortak," and I was like, "All right, cool.
Why are you
It's all
flipping
good.
me
That's
off?
all I need."
There you go. That's how to become
Okay.
Meme's friend. Just randomly. No, just kidding.
No, don't start saying that.
Oh man, someone a 343 hater in chat, Kyrick says, "Why would 343 want to do anything about it? They're busy destroying Halo themselves."
That's kind of
I
free.
I loved Halo 4's story mode, like way more than I thought I would. And maybe it was because I was just really hopeful that I would love it, but it made me feel like I was playing it just gave me the nostalgia that I was playing Halo 1 a little bit, you know? Like a new, I don't know, it just felt right. Halo 2 was way too different. Halo 3 was all right, and Reach was like crazy. But Halo 4 just did something right with the story mode in that game, and it just felt good. And multiplayer, I didn't get to play a whole lot. It was just during a time where a lot of games kept coming out, and I just kept buying them, and, you know, one thing led to another, and now I don't have an Xbox 360 or Halo 4.
See, this is kind of like remember Castaway Paradise, or what was it called?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? It was the iOS game or whatever that they released, and they only released it. Where did they release it?
They just released it for Australia.
Yeah, like Australia, and that was it. And it was like, why Australia?
This is a
And now
game
they're
that's supposedly people who love Animal Crossing will play Castaway Paradise. You can play it on your phone, and they're all proud of themselves because they made this. They made it, as close to that experience as they could get. But all it turned out to be was this freemium, stupid game.
Yeah, and it's not. I don't think it's even coming to PC anymore because of that. But with this, I just clicked on the link for the Halo Waypoint, and there's a
Yes.
bunch of Halo Online questions and answers. And one of the questions was, will gamers in other regions like North America and Europe be able to play Halo Online? And they said, right now our focus is on learning as much as we can from the closed beta period in Russia. Theoretically, any expansion outside of Russia would have to go through region-specific changes to address player expectations. So that's all they said about it.
Pretty political answer.
Pretty much.
I was hoping that Titanfall would scratch my itch for like sci-fi shooter.
A lot of people
Yeah,
were.
it's because they're almost similar, you know? but
I
not quite.
I played it a decent amount, but ultimately I kind of just stopped because it just felt. It wasn't like, I don't know, it wasn't like a very fulfilling experience. Something about Titanfall, like the idea was great, and then the execution was just okay.
It's just like
I'd still go back and play it, I guess, but it didn't capture, that for me.
it's like if you play World of Warcraft, right, and that's your specific game, and you try to scratch that itch, to play an MMO, but you don't want to pay for the subscription fees, so you try a different MMO. It's just not the same. It's even those that are clones aren't the same as World of Warcraft. They never will be. But it's the same thing with Halo. Halo is one of those games that you can't substitute it. And it would be interesting to check this out, though.
I'm going to keep an eye on it.
I got a proxy server. I'll just turn that on and see if I can get on there. Serious. I'll just link it to Russia. It's closed beta, though. So I'd have to speak Russian.
Google Translate, man.
Google Translate.
Is there an app for that now? Like,
this guy's Russian is horrible.
That's what they just
why does he sound like a robot?
It's funny.
Well, I think that about covers most of our topics for the evening. Now, there's one more thing I wanted to do. If you follow my YouTube channel at all, I made a vlog asking people what they thought of the topic we discussed last week about the Nintendo NX. And if you were following that story, Nintendo announced basically a new console. People are saying it's probably a handheld, but it could be a set-top, gaming console, just like the Wii U. And we were going back and forth about that. So I made a vlog asking people what they think it might be, what they hope it might be, etc. And I got a couple of really good responses. I'm going to throw those at you right now. So from Graham Alsop, hopefully I'm saying your name right, your last name there. Let's see. I know this is a long post, but here's my thoughts on the NX. It's not a long post, but what he did is he broke down a list of Nintendo consoles, and this was a pretty cool observation. So 1 NES, 2 SNES, 3 N64, 4 GameCube, 5 Wii, 6 Wii U, and then you have the handhelds. 7 Game Boy, and then all the renditions of Game Boy that were labeled as Game Boy, quote unquote. Number 8 is DS, and DSi, DS Lite, etc. And then you have the 3DS was number 9. So number 10, he put NX, question mark, meaning Nintendo X, or the Roman numeral for 10. And he's wondering, that kind of leads him to believe this could be a handheld system, just the way he categorized it. He put it under handhelds. Maybe it could still be either for me, but I like the idea of Nintendo 10 or NX.
Well, that's just a code name, though.
Yes, but maybe that's where they got it from.
Yeah.
The 10th Nintendo console.
Maybe it's a combo.
Well, they're talking about a lot of integration, so it's got to be integrated in some way.
It would be basically a controller in itself, but it would have a screen large enough to play games individually, or you can connect it to your TV to play them on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
The Wii
so then you
U
can take your game with you.
I thought they were doing that with the Wii U because of that gamepad. I wonder. I even remember talking about the podcast. I said I think the Wii U is kind of screwed themselves with their handhelds because now people are just going to take that gamepad around, not realizing that you have to be within a certain radius of your Wii U.
Exactly.
Which made sense, but they could do something like that. PSP or PS Vita has remote play, and you can do that same thing. But you need the remote. You need the PS Vita to do remote play. And one more comment from Billy Bass. The NX could be the quality of life thing Nintendo has been working on. My personal thoughts, though, is it could be another revolutionary idea from them. We saw the DS and then the 3DS with the dual screen experience, and then the Wii U with a very similar second screen experience. And then he goes on to talk about Monster Hunter 3. Ultimate uses the bottom 3DS screen and the Wii U gamepad in the exact same manner. I think the NX could be an idea that may bridge the gap between handheld and console gaming, just like Dreadlow just said. Going back to Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, the compatibility to transfer saves between the 3DS and the Wii U is there, and you can transfer your saves between the two platforms with ease, so the architecture is there. Very similar architecture is available to transfer custom characters between the 3DS and the Wii U versions of Super Smash Bros. As well.
I just think it would be so neat to say, I'm talking about kids now because I don't know if adults would get involved in this, but say like a bunch of friends are at school, hey, why don't you come over? We could play some video games. Yeah, sure, I'll bring my NX with me, and I can link to your Wii U, and we can play. You know what I mean? It just would be perfect.
I hope whatever it is works with the current gen of the Wii U specifically. If this is going to be a handheld to replace the 3DS, I'll accept that. But I just got that Wii U, damn it.
I don't think so. It's something that they're still expanding on. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they wouldn't keep messing with it and then come out with something new. That would be crazy.
We get to sit here and speculate for like what, a year?
It's probably going to be more than a year. Honestly, you're looking at probably 2 years
Just before they announce it?
before they really announce what it is.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping they give us a few more scraps of information. Like, even just telling us handheld or home console would be a lot of relief for me right now. It gives me a lot of anxiety, Nintendo.
Right.
Well,
right.
they don't want to release that information because they don't want you to stop buying games based on they're about to drop another system so I'm not going to invest except for the 1 or 2 games I really need.
Yeah. So, well, there you have it. That about covers the game.
Is a Wii U similar? Would you say it was similar to an Xbox One or the PlayStation 4, where it's got a lot of additional media things attached to it rather than just gaming?
You can get apps for it, but you could also get the same apps for the Wii, like Netflix and Hulu and all those things.
Right.
So that's all there, and I think the Wii U is a very fair competitor for Nintendo, like against the PS4 and the Xbox 360. But part of me kind of feels like the Wii U is what the Wii should have been originally, because simply
Kinda
because
like
of HD and things they just refused to do with the Wii U. They said, we'll use the same graphics as the GameCube, but we're not worried about that. They just wanted to release something because they saw Xbox and
like
PlayStation
Windows
do it.
Vista going to Windows 7.
it was a stupid console to make just for the purpose of, making a console. So they added the motion control, and it was like everyone, motion control, and it works really well.
So that's what makes me believe the NX is not going to be a whole new console. I believe it's going to be something, like I said, some kind of combo, or even just another handheld of some sort.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping.
And like Kyrick in chat says, Wii U can achieve 1080p at 60 frames per second, which is that's kind of like the standard for everything now.
Exactly.
For TV shows, for movies, for video games. The one thing that Nintendo never puts is like a DVD player, so it can't do that. But I still think it's a fair competitor to those two consoles. But Nintendo kind of puts itself in its own realm too. Like they release a console around the same time, but they don't really. I don't think they look at PlayStation and Xbox as their audience.
Can I ask you a question though? Because you're like griping about the no DVD player and stuff. How often have you put in a movie into your console and used that?
Always. I don't buy DVD players anymore. There's no point. I'll have a PlayStation, an Xbox, something to play DVDs on. So there's no point in getting a DVD player. So
hence why they're not easy to find in stores. There's very few of them.
Versus how much you stream though.
Oh. Well, Redbox is kind of what I use the DVD player for now, because you'll get the movie like a lot sooner than it's going to be out on Netflix. So it's easy to just go into a Redbox and grab a movie. Now, granted, I don't do that too often, and because I have so many of those consoles, I have like 2 or 3 DVD players sitting out there, so I don't need the Wii U to play DVDs. But it would have been a good thing to put there just for the sake of saying we can now compete on another level. Our system can do one more thing that those systems can do.
Yeah.
I guess. I just don't feel like it's necessary.
It's really not. It was just one example kind of popped in my head. But it's true. You can't play DVDs on the damn thing. So,
Well, they don't use the DVD format, though, for their games, do they? Whereas I know, like,
they can use some magic.
PlayStation uses Blu-ray and stuff, so it makes sense that it could also double as a Blu-ray player.
Yeah. It could be some kind of magic Nintendo format. Who knows?
I wouldn't doubt it.
The Apple of gaming. Nintendo.
That's why it's white.
What?
Apple products, they're white usually when they first launch. Wii products, now, they're all white.
Well, I got the black Wii U. Because I'm awesome. And on that note,
Hipster.
that's the podcast. So, big thanks to Weem for interjecting once in a while.
For listening, basically.
Yeah.
Listening.
Well, thanks for...
Sorry your voice is all shot and stuff.
Yeah.
It's cool. I'm just hanging out.
That's cool.
Weem's chill. Weem's chill like that. Go check out his awesome viral video on his channel. We will link it in the show notes.
It is neither awesome nor viral.
It is at least awesome. Come on.
It was fun to make. I had a lot of fun
to
making
watch. Damn it, Weem. He's always so down on himself. And of course,
Faith!
Jemmy, Dreadlow, the whole gang, thank you so much. We will see you next week for another edition of the Everything Noob podcast.
Thank you for joining us for this edition of the Everything Noob podcast. Hit up everythingnoob.com for our show notes, blogs, YouTube and Twitch channels, previous episodes, and even a t-shirt store. Please game responsibly, and we'll see you next week.